everybody, I got a request to make a recipe that I did when I was working for the Seahawks at CenturyLink Field, and they're called crab fries. We came up with this, well, I'm not the original, I mean, there's been other crab fries at other stadiums, but I took the idea, and in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest specifically, there's a lot of Dungeness crabs. So we wanted to use a local product and put some on fries. Perfect for a stadium, but I saw some of the ways that I didn't really love the way people did it, so I kind of came up with my own recipe, so I'm gonna show you how. So first of all, I've got my fries already done, and that's kind of how we work. A tablespoon of butter, we're gonna melt that out. It's already hot already. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. I'm gonna actually shut that off right now. I have my pan hot, and while we're doing that, I'm just gonna quickly mince a clove of garlic, just like that. Get that going while the butter's melting. So you gotta multitask when you're chefing, right? When you gotta be, while the butter's melting, you're chopping something else, don't waste some time. Okay, so there we go. Butter's melted, hot pan, garlic in there, great. Let that go for a second, cook the garlic out so it's not raw. But it's actually really a quick recipe, so you can smell that toasty garlic, which is beautiful. Let that go a little bit. It's okay if the the butter browns a little bit. The heat's off right now. So then next, I'm gonna add some cream cheese. It's about 1 ounce of cream cheese. Let that go. We're gonna melt everything down. So we're gonna let it get this. If it's soft, it's fine. That's even better. So we're gonna go 2 ounces now. It's been a while since I made this recipe, so I'm kind of going off some notes. I asked some of the sous chefs that have worked for me in the past, and I kind of got some ingredient list. So I'm just gonna put it together. Okay, heavy cream. So we're gonna put like 1/4 cup, and basically we're gonna melt all of this down. I'm gonna turn the heat back on again. And basically, you always add the crab at the end just because it's already cooked when you get the crab meat. So use what you got locally. I'm in the East Coast right now. Obviously, as I mentioned just a moment ago, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. You get a lot of Dungeness crabs, so it's plentiful there. In the East Coast, down south, further south, you can get stone crab, which you kind of probably don't want to use. But Maryland Blue is great. And then up in Maine, which is kind of what I'm using a rock crab, piquito. So now you see that, that's the cream cheese, just a little bit of heavy cream, the garlic, and I'm mixing that up. You don't need a lot of heat, just enough to melt that out. I'm actually gonna shut it off because we don't need it. Then I'm going to add, so this is Boursin, which is another cheese with more garlic and some herbs. So that's about half of a package, it's about 5 ounce package. So add half of that, we're just gonna melt that in there. That's going there, and it's always really creamy. So you don't want a lot of heat because if you put too much heat in dairy, it's gonna break. So we don't want that. We just wanna melt this out to get nice and creamy so it'll stick to the fries. See how that's going here? You can use a rubber spatula too, whisk. I'm gonna add a little lemon juice. I want a little acid, so it's like balancing, right? You know, cream cheese is a little bit tart, but at the same time, you want a little extra acid. Use a little squeeze just from a wedge. And then we're gonna just mix that in. I'm gonna add a little spice to that. So like a dash of paprika, and then, hold on, let's wipe my hands, and then we're gonna use a little black pepper, okay? You want a little bit of spice, not spice, but just a little bit of added note to it, just to give it a little bit of accent, just like that. So the heat is off. I'm just incorporating everything, melting it down, see, just like that. It's nice and homogenized, nice and creamy. No more heat because it might break, that's not what we want, all right? And then we're gonna add the crab, so it's about 6 ounces. Just like that, nice fresh crab. So all I'm gonna do is just heat it through. That's all I want. I don't wanna cook it anymore. It's already cooked in this state. So we're just gonna heat that up a little bit like that. Then, I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley. Just about that much. At the stadium, we just toss it on top, but I'm gonna actually fold it in there right now, just to kind of heat it through a little bit, especially this time. And a little bit of parm, and a little parm is gonna go on top of the fries as well. Not too much. So, I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy cream just to thin it out because it got a little thick. Okay, just like that. All right. No salt because the crab's got salt, the cream cheese has got salt, the Parmesan's salty, so you don't actually need extra. So I'm gonna dust these with a little bit of parm, and then let's just go down. Okay. And you want to thicken up so it sticks to the fries. You don't want this wet, like too soft in that because it's also gonna make the fries really soft. There you go, and then that is your crab fries. I'm just gonna take a little more lemon just because I can. Stadium, we didn't have enough time, we had to have it all kind of ready. We used to heat it up, add the crab in, boom, fries. There you go. So let's see if it matches what I remember it. Delicious. There you go, crab fries. This one's for Christine. Thanks for reminding me.